Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Your Secret Co-Founder. It's Marjolaine, your host, and this is your space for expansion. Now, today, I want to share with you a framework that allows to save you time, think bigger, and remove some of the bottlenecks and limitations that are capping your growth, your success, your abundance, your influence in a very simple way that you can practice each and every day. And the reason I'm bringing this forth is that at the level you play, your biggest leverage is your vision. And not only your vision, but your ability to guide the energy you've cultivated. When we think of influence, a following, even money or wealth, it's a form of energy. There's energy here that you've cultivated through your years of sharing your talent or the decisions you've made, the team you've built. And that energy is now asking you to direct it. And this is what we do when we create a campaign or launch an offer or share a new creative series on our YouTube channel. We direct the energy in a direction that then amplifies it even further. And hopefully we can do this for years and years and years to come without ever hitting a plateau or feeling as though we're falling back. And the way we do this is by continuously renewing ourselves, reinventing ourselves, creating our momentum. Because as much as you might feel right now that you have already a natural momentum created, maybe your inbox keeps being met with incredible opportunity, agents are calling you, or you're being talked about in important rooms. People message you constantly of how impactful your content is for them or your product has changed their life. So there's a sense of, wow, I've already made momentum happen. But this momentum requires you to continue giving it fuel, directing the energy. But it's really, really hard to direct energy when we are depleted or stuck in a sense of stress or busyness, or when we feel pressure, stress. And that's why the practice I'm sharing with you today allows you to learn how to hold space for space. Quite literally making it a priority to cultivate your thinking, cultivate your judgment, your taste, your discernment, so that you can direct the energy more effectively and then have control over the narrative, the career arc, and the momentum that continuously is being fueled in your company, your creator space, your work, so that you continuously renew yourself and feel a sense of excitement and joy and this sense that, wow, my life is exactly what I dreamt of and even beyond. So right now, you're most likely operating on schedule. Somehow, you probably have things in your calendar and it's directing your day. It's directing where you go, what you do, and when, who you meet. You wake up in the morning, maybe you scroll your phone, you react to what's happening. Maybe there's some DMs, some emails, and you're leading your day with these patterns. Some of them are intentional. Most of them are reactive, automatic. We just do them by default. This is just what we do, or we follow our impulses. And sometimes that means the dopamine hit that our phone or those messages give us. And when we do this repeatedly, sometimes we get swallowed in by the noise or momentum or energy of others. And when we do this too often, then we cannot discern anymore what is ours and what is the other people, the world, what is outside of me. And the way to kind of reclaim that schedule, reclaim control over your time, reclaim control over your agency, your authorship of the life you're shaping, is to intentionally block space just to be in your own world. Cultivate this awareness, those boundaries, that space that then allows two things to happen. One thing is new thoughts arising, spontaneous arrival of creativity, creative energy, ideas, insight, powerful sense of, wow, I really think that if I do this and if I remove this or if I move this, something is going to happen. These instant intuitive nudges, right? Receiving this. We can't receive if our glass is full. But sometimes it's full of noise. It's full of so many things that are not serving us. So we need to make space to receive. And the second thing that happens once we make space is that we are more aware of our inner world, our well-being, our needs, our desires changing and shaping themselves through our action. Maybe you're a version of you now that you've outgrown, but you're stuck in the patterns keeping you here. Maybe you are in a space where you've been spiraling in your thoughts, overthinking, and you haven't noticed, but it's eating you up. And if we don't make space to pay attention to what's happening in our patterns, our thoughts, our inner landscape, we also lose track of the book we're writing. And we sometimes realize a little too late that, well, why am I crying in my car right now about to go on an amazing project? Or why do I feel immense anxiety having received an incredible deal that I've been dreaming of, right? Why do I feel stressed out if I'm getting everything I've ever asked for? Well, that happens because we lost sight of ourselves, right? So without getting into much details into how do we pay attention and build awareness to our well-being, and how do we make sure that we make space to receive spontaneity, insights, ideas, the first step in today's video is really to learn how to make space for a space. And there are 3 key practices that I recommend to start or to get a taste and to feel which one is most yours, because we don't need to control emptiness. Once we make space, we don't initially need a strategy. We don't initially need a thinking framework. We don't initially need a strategy to direct the energies. We just need presence. And within that presence, we already deepen our connection to our intuition, to our inner voice, to our awareness. And that's not that simple. If you've tried meditation, which I'm sure you have, you've noticed I might be trying to be present and meditating, but my mind is spinning so fast, I don't feel like I have control over my thoughts. And that is true. That might happen once you start practicing just making space. But the way that we approach it, because we're doing it in a more casual way, we have a bigger chance to be present and notice things naturally arising. Sometimes the context of meditation puts pressure upon stillness or emptiness. We need to be present here and now. And because we try to be present and we think we need that, it's even harder to control our mind. But the 3 practices that I recommend doing are more interactive, and so the casualness of it allows you to start making more space for your own inner thoughts, landscape, and direction of your vision. So the first one is sitting with your favorite drink on the sofa, staring at the beautiful window in your house, favorite corner, and intentionally just making a drink, going to sit in this cute place. Think about your favorite movie, and there's this main character woman that just, goes with her satin robe by the window, and it just looks so beautiful and romantic and magical, and it just makes you nostalgic for a time where phone were not a thing, so you wouldn't be scrolling your phone by the window. And it's re-choosing that emptiness, so going by default without your phone, leaving it behind, bringing just a drink, yourself, your favorite nice lounge wear that you wear indoor, silk robe, satin robe, whatever you prefer, and sitting by a windowsill, by your kitchen table, by your sofa, by your bedside, wherever feels soft, cozy, comfy, and has a view over nature. And you just sit intentionally for a while. Now I recommend 7 minutes to 10 minutes as an initial space, just to give it ample space to arrive and land. But ideally going with no time, knowing you don't have a meeting ahead, so maybe on an empty afternoon that you keep meeting free, and just giving yourself space to land and be. And here we want to practice not getting out of the moment, right? Because when we're so used to being driven by dopamine, we'll try to get distracted or do something, be productive. Maybe you struggle with a sense of guilt sometimes when you turn off or do things that don't lead to instant result. And that's exactly what we want to train here. Making space is accepting the probability of something incredible happening, or nothing much happening, but a beautiful moment being experienced. So we sit, we look at the nature, we let it be. That's step 1. The other practice you might want to pick is a nature walk with no phone, no distraction, just yourself. But a long walk, A walk that's maybe 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes. A walk where you go on your way in nature and you don't try to do it for any purpose of fitness or to go fast or to walk effectively. You don't listen to podcasts. You just go and you let nature whisper. You let your intuition whisper. You let the moment be. And you try to do this every single day for a couple days to start clearing the energy, making space for space. And the other practice that I love and that I practice myself all the time is laying on your bed, staring at the ceiling. It is my go-to to ground myself, to reset, to clear my mind, the noise, to pay attention to how much noise I've accumulated in my mind, just staring at the ceiling. Good old days, like a child under a table or like someone that just feels so tired, but we do it by design. Not because we're tired, not because we're trying to take a nap, just because we're trying to be present and make space for space. And now from that space that we learn how to cultivate, from that pattern of guilt or productivity or doing things effectively that we learn to break, from here we can begin playing with our thoughts, with the way we direct our energies, with the way we lead our vision. But for now, what I really want you to do is experience the moment of creating moments in your schedule intentionally with the intent to just be present and let whatever is arise. And that's the only initial focus. What is present? And we just be with our nice, cozy, warm drink. So I hope you take time this week to notice, when can I create pockets of time that are dedicated to making space just for the moment, just to be present. And from this, already noticing what arises and what does this invite me to change and shift. Because that awareness solely might bring you a lot of insights into the way you've been pushing yourself, the things that need to be done, the things you've been avoiding, the inner landscape you've been not listening to, or some incredible ideas that have been floating but not quite yet translated in your awareness. So let's make space this week. I hope you enjoy this exercise. You can pick one out of the three. You can feel into your intuition and see what you're called to do to make more space. And just be curious as you break your usual patterns and slowly start reclaiming your schedule, your time, to have more creativity, more insight, and ultimately continue aligning with the life of your full potential. The one where you not only feel like you have the capacity to hold all that you're meant to be, but your life is a true reflection of those intentional choices. If you want my private advisory to guide you through the next expansion in your life, brand, and business, feel free to request it right below. And I will see you next week for another episode. Have a good one.